People of the world, welcome back to Send It Rising. You're already going to know, based on what I say next, that we have a guest on the show today. I do not believe in coincidences. Seems like we live in a random universe, doesn't it? I know the fact that you're listening to this right now isn't random, as I've mentioned on the show before. We had someone who talked about random number generators on the program, and he said that it's very hard to produce randomness. It's actually quite difficult. When you have a machine, you have to introduce things like entropy and like rust and moisture and stuff to create the illusion of randomness, which is to say that the relationships that fall into our orbit, it's like we're planets and there's gravity, and you find yourself in these moments and you meet these people and you are pulled into their gravity well, if you will. And this precise thing happened to me not too long ago in a Starbucks in Las Vegas, Nevada. I was pulled into the gravity well of one angelic philanthropreneur, you could say, philanthropist. She's been doing philanthropy her entire life. Ladies and gentlemen, you are going to be very happy that you tuned in to the program today, because we're going to be talking to an angel. Can you imagine spending your entire life in the world of philanthropy? I haven't done it. Have you? Well, we're going to learn all about it. She is, I want to say, the head honcho, if you will, at HopeLink, which is a state-funded, incredible organization we're going to learn all about. She has a gigantic event coming up. And so philanthropy is much more than just the actual philanthropy itself. It's getting folks interested and aware of what you're doing. We're going to learn all the tips and tricks of the trade. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the show, the one and the only Stacey Lockhart.
Thanks for having me. That was a great introduction, and I have to admit, I have never been referred to as an angel before. I'm sure if there's some of my friends out there watching, they're probably laughing and rolling on the floor.
They'll be like, I remember one time at 1 a.m. when they've got stories, Stacey. They've got stories. So I am interested in talking about this event that you have coming up, but let's do a quick recap of HopeLink, what you do. Give us like the 2-minute pitch on HopeLink.
HopeLink was founded back in 1991. In the beginning, we served Henderson and Boulder City, but now we serve all of Southern Nevada with a focus on preventing homelessness first and foremost. If we keep people in their homes so they don't end up on the street and in shelters, that's the best solution for everyone and the best use of our resources as well. It is so expensive. It costs nearly $100,000 to help someone who is homeless get rehoused and back on their feet. We can prevent homelessness for about $3,000-4,000 a month. Keep somebody in that home. We focus on keeping families together. A lot of times when you go through these crises, kids end up, CPS gets involved. They end up being placed in foster homes. Every kid should be with their parents if at all possible. And then helping seniors. We do utility assistance, mortgage assistance, and rent assistance. We have a food pantry, a career program, just, we call it wraparound. Everything we can do, if somebody comes to us with one issue they're having, we can talk to them, and there's probably other things going on and other resources they could use and assistance at the same time. We help tens of thousands of people every year. And for instance, just the last 2 years during COVID, we spent about $20 million in Southern Nevada helping people who were out of work and, feeling that impact of COVID on their finances. Keep a roof over their head, keep the lights on, and keep food on the table for those families.
I love it. I love everything about it. First of all, HopeLink. That's 2 syllables. How great is that in terms of a brand that can stand the test of time? When it comes to letting folks know what you do, you are in it's such a predicament, because you mentioned assistance. You mentioned a food pantry. You mentioned a career program. I love this 3 to 4,000 as opposed to 100,000 to bring someone in the depths of homelessness as opposed to preventing it. The same is true of medical costs. It's like if you never smoke, it's so much cheaper for everybody. So that is a bit tricky for you to let people know what you do because you do so much?
It's true. In a nutshell, 2 years ago, we really redefined our mission and vision so everybody can remember it, everybody can repeat it very easily. So, our mission is preventing homelessness, preserving families, providing hope. And our vision is that everyone deserves a safe place to call home. Now, we may modify that again. I keep saying we need to add the word affordable, safe and affordable place to call home with what we've been seeing with the housing crisis. But, short and sweet. Um, all the other things, people can find out about all of our programs and other services on our website, and through getting to know us when we're out in the community. But you're right, we do a lot. But those three pillars, preventing homelessness, preserving families, and providing hope.
I often wonder because I've been on the board of the United Way of Southern Nevada marketing committee for many years now, about getting footage from people who are struggling as a way to shed light on the nuance of the story of the suffering. And a part of me feels gross, I think would be a decent word to describe it. Reaching out to people to go, okay, let's talk about some of the struggles you've been through. It feels a little bit exploitative. And then there's another part of me that goes, no, these people actually really, really want their voices heard. And if you find the right person and you interview them, they are really excited to share that story. So I think it could be um, evil in the sense that you're reaching out to someone. It's like, oh, I'm trying to like exploit them for attention. And like, there's that whole world. And then there's this more angelic world of sort of, if you find the right person, I think it's based on the person that you talk to. So my question to you is, have you done interviews with some of the folks that are homeless or have struggled with that? And do they have a voice through HopeLink in some way, shape, or form?
For about 28 years, Hope Link very quietly did good work in our community. I've been on board 2.5 years, and part of the reason the board brought me on board is to help elevate our visibility in the community. So for me, it's awareness, it's branding, it's getting out there and sharing our story everywhere we can. And nonprofits, many times, don't do a good job of sharing their story. So we have been interviewing clients, sharing client success stories and what they overcame, doing some videos, and right now, I'm so excited to say that we have a coffee table book that is at the publisher that is being printed and will be ready to pick up our first 300 copies next week, called Stories of Hope. And in it, we have over the last year, it took forever to get to this point that it's being published. It was a big project, much bigger than any of us thought it would be when we had this great idea. But we are really showcasing 30 faces, 30 stories. And when people read these stories, they will bring tears to your eyes. It's amazing what somebody was going through and where they connected with Hope Link, how they've overcome, and where they're at now. The stories are so inspiring that they just have to be told. Um, couldn't think of a better way for us to do it. Really commemorating our 30 years of service to the community since it is our 30th anniversary this year. But that compilation of those stories and those faces, it's real people. And I say all the time, you know what? In a blink of an eye, your life can change, and things happen to people that's no fault of their own. Many times, we also make choices that have impact on our own lives, but so many times people don't know where to turn. They sometimes you're in denial. I mean, when you finally find a way that you can have a voice, you can ask for the help, raise the courage in yourself to finally reach out and ask for that assistance. That's where really Hope Link comes in. We are able to give that hope to people, give that hand up, not a handout, but a hand up, and help people change their what we call change their normal forever. So Absolutely. And I look forward to sharing many of these stories over the next year. We'll be sharing them on our social media channels, through our website. But the first step is the book coming off the press, and really being able to share that.
I absolutely love it, and that will come as no surprise to the folks that watch the show. My mantra: I'm like a love hippie type. Okay, I try to love everything. I try to love sadness. I try to love anger that I feel. It's like taking a step back. It's the Ram Dass approach. I'm not sure if you ever got into him. Popular spiritual dude in the '60s. So this idea of that humility, sort of, okay, we don't want to make a big splash, I think was fashionable 20, 30 years ago. It's like, be humble, and that's how people sort of like that was really appreciated. The game has changed. The game has changed. Everyone is very loud at this point. The people that are getting the money flowing through them are making the most noise online. And I think what happens is, sometimes in this rush to be loud, we come across as like cranky, fuzzy babies. And so the content that comes out has to be that sort of like perfect mixture of hopefulness and positivity, make them laugh, make them cry. I love this idea of a coffee table book. I can't stop thinking about interviewing folks that were in the book. See, I love interviewing. I really enjoy it. I like doing it live. That there's a good reason why the show is live. I feel like there's an endorphin rush that comes with it, that knowing that whatever you're going to say is out there, it is what it is. And they're baked into it is an authenticity, which is why I think people enjoy this show. And then all the life is a stage, or all of life is a stage, and so we're all actors playing these various roles. And sometimes, someone's playing the role of the homeless person on the sidewalk, you know what I mean? And it's just another role, and it's easy to look at it as less than, right? You've got a world, class neurosurgeon here, and you have someone asking for money on the side of the road over here. For a lot of folks, if they're being honest with themselves, it is difficult to see that as equality, right? To see those two equal beings, in the same way that we perceive like a fly on the wall. People will just take out a fly swatter and kill the thing. They're not thinking of that fly as this equal being. They're seeing it as much less than. And this is just sort of an issue we're having. So I love what you're doing. A hand up, not a hand out. Or what did you say? Did you say a hand up? Was it?
Yeah, we're a hand up, not a
Yeah.
hand
Thank
out.
you.
Because, and when I say that is, if you're just giving somebody everything they need, it doesn't give them any incentive to put some skin in the game. We totally expect the clients that we're helping to do their part to change their circumstances. And if they're willing to put in time and effort, we will walk that walk with them as long as we need to do that. And even after they don't need us anymore, if they stumble, we're here to catch them. They can always come back to us for additional resources, because we all know it's hard to turn things around. We all hit, speed bumps, I always say, in the road. Nobody's perfect. We all stumble. And if we can be there to catch them before they fall, um, that's what it's about. Let's not let somebody fall back into homelessness. If they're having some issues, if they have a month where their car broke, they can't get to work, how are they going to pay their bills? We can be there to bridge that gap, to help them through that month, maybe help them fix their car so they can get to work, they can work and get a paycheck and pay their bills. That's what it's all about. So we are always here. Our doors are never closed to people that we have helped in the past, or need help now.
I love it. I love everything about it. So I feel like we have to till the soil many times in order to plant the seed that is this, gorgeous thing. Many of the world's religions are based on incredible suffering. I mean, when the Buddha achieved enlightenment under the Bodhi tree, it was because he went through severe austerities, and it was all suffering based. He's like, oh, there's so much suffering in the world, because he was all sheltered in his castle, and then he came out and that. And you go religion by religion, they all have this sort of narrative. So there is such a thing as, when someone is in the depths of, carrying the cross, if you will, and they are just dying out there, that there's a beauty in that, right? Like, you take that person, you get them out of that, you get them into another space, they carry that experience with them in a way that is so profound. And it's a huge boon to any society to take someone from the depths of hell and bring them into something that most people would consider just sort of like normal, but for them it's not normal. It's heaven. It's just it's so much better because they have this almost like stretching. They're stretching their soul into this depths of darkness, and then they come out of it and they're more flexible than someone who hasn't.
Well, I think, they have something they can really compare to as well. I was here and now I'm here. Um, the amazing transformations that can happen. And so many of our clients said, one of them, for instance, said, some days I say, who is this person living this life? This was not me. This was not a life I could ever imagine. And here I am now. I had one of our clients call me a week ago, text me a picture of her work van, was so excited. This is somebody that was on the street 3 months ago. Um, we helped with emergency shelter. Um, she has gotten a job. She's gotten permanent housing. She got all of her bills paid up, dealt with, I think, some unpaid tickets, got her license back. She called me. She goes, Stacey, she goes, I'm in my own place. I don't need anyone help. I'm paying all my bills. I have some money in the bank. I just got this great job. And she is on her feet and amazingly grateful because we didn't do it all for her. We provided some assistance so she could do what she needed to do. If you don't have a roof over your head, I don't know how you can deal with everything else in life. You've got to have the basics, and that means a roof over your head. Now you've got home base, and you're in a safe spot, and you can start figuring things out from there. But if you're sleeping in a tent, or you're sleeping under a tree, or you're sleeping in your car, I don't know how you can even concentrate on anything else. Um,
That's yeah, that's so true. I apologize for the interruption. I have to do a quick shout out to a couple of people that showed up in chat. I used to be a chess live streamer, and a couple of the folks that you were common sort of like show up all the time just showed up in chat. So shout out to Chess World Scientists and those one guy. Miss you guys. Thanks for swinging by the show today. You couldn't be more right, obviously, about just that the comparison of those two worlds being a huge asset, and then there is something about the mind where I mean, I don't know, like some folks get really what's the word, uncomfortable with the word soul. So if you're very scientific, whatever part of your consciousness that observes your behavior, you could call it that way, the observer can look at the behavior of the person and just not identify with it, right? There's a part of us that can look and go, oh no, like there he goes again, like drinking when he shouldn't, or it feels like you're out of control would be a decent way of describing it, right? And so you've got people in the depths of that sort of powerlessness to have their consciousness affect action. It's too strong. The addiction's too strong. The pattern of behavior is too strong. And that's why I like the words hope link, because you're linking the soul, if you will, or consciousness to hope. You're going, okay, we're just going to make this connection here. We're going to give you some external help and we're going to connect those two dots and then we'll pull them together over time. And then eventually you'll come back and you'll look at your life and you'll go, oh, this is something I can be proud of.
Absolutely. We say it all the time. And so many of our friends in the community, I call them our heroes of hope, but they're also those links to hope. When you see someone who's struggling and you refer them to Hope Link, that's that link. We need as many links, just like linking together, big lines of paper clips. Remember how we used to call those together, or do the links that we'd do with construction paper that we'd put on the Christmas trees. We need to add those links every single day. And we need that string to go as long as we can get it and never stop growing. Because when we all are links to hope, it's amazing what we can do for our community as a group. It's not about, yes, we need financial resources, but more than that, I tell people my job's to go and attract the resources and the people to the organization so our incredible team here can go out and do the good work that they do with the people in the community. And that's what it's all about. We have a philosophy that If we do good work, everything else will come. And that's what it's about, because our good work speaks for itself. The people that we're able to help, their voices in the community. Everybody knows 10 people and everyone talks to 10 people. The word will spread. And as I mentioned earlier, HopeLink has just never been good about really going out in the community and talking at all about what we do, or asking the people we've been able to help if they would help us share that story so we can help even more people.
So I just had a coach on my show, and he said if you walked up to a pharmacist and you said, "Hey, look, I have this problem," and the pharmacist was like, "Yeah, well, here's some sort of like education, or here's like some resources you could go to," and the person's like, "No, I want you to give me something. Like give. I'm asking for the medicine. Give me the medicine." Um, I have for many years been um terrified of falling into this role of salesperson, because literally there's a guy at a coffee shop where he interviewed like 200 people, just one quick question survey, I should say, surveyed, and he said, would you be interested in meeting with a salesperson, or what, and all of them say no. No one wants to meet with a salesperson. No one has any interest at all. And so I think organizations get caught up in that. They go, ooh, and no one, if we're being honest with ourselves, like no one wants to pitch and no one wants to be the salesperson, because it's very uncomfortable, it's awkward. And the issue there is that the education consulting becomes what people tell themselves when they're actually selling. They're like, "Oh, no, no, we don't pitch." And everyone does this all the time. "Oh, we don't pitch. And oh, no, we're an educational." Blah, 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 blah." But getting comfortable with the fact that you have to pitch. It is what it is, and you're either good at it or you're not. And for me, and what I would love to do with HopeLink is exactly this, but with people who have had this experience. I'm loving this interview, right? I'm also thinking about the future, Stacey, of talking to someone else named Stacey who is living on the street for X, and diving into just all of the nuance. And then the best advertisements come when they least expect it. They're vulnerable now. Why? Because they know about Stacey's 3 kids, and they know that her second kid had cancer and that bankrupted her, right? And and that's what caused the series of events where now she's in this. And 15 minutes into the interview, she goes, "Oh yeah, and then HopeLink." Do you see what I'm saying? That's a good pitch for HopeLink and what you do, because it's not, "Hey, welcome to, HopeLink." No, no, no. Just subtle. And then people go, "Oh yeah, HopeLink," but they don't remember HopeLink first. They remember Stacey and the childhood cancer and missing rent payments and the abusive relationship, and then the opioid addiction, and then her losing her kids, and then her getting her kids back, and then, oh yeah, HopeLink.
Absolutely. Um, you talk about pitching, and I guess for me, I'm out all the time networking. I'm talking to people all the time, and it's not so much about pitching HopeLink. I love talking to people and sharing the stories and what we do. And I think whether you are a salesperson with a bottle of wine to sell, or this very cool coffee mug, or me with HopeLink, if you believe in your product, then it's not sales. It's so easy to talk about it and attract people and turn them into believers. Every day I talk about what we do with people. Every day I'm out there sharing. I have so many stories and examples that I can share. I would rather talk about those all day long than go through the list of programs and services we actually offer and how we help them. Just being able to share those stories. I want it to be humanized. We have to be able to relate. And what we do, when it attracts people, it attracts them in their heart. It's not, what I call a smart business decision, where it's all about the bottom line and the financials. I tell people, I don't have a product to sell you. What I have to offer is a better community, and people in the community who are on their feet that are then able to turn around and contribute back into. When somebody's say homeless, you know what? They might be sleeping in a store's doorway. There's health issues and everything else. When we can prevent that from happening, or we can help somebody become rehoused, get them on their feet, help them become self-sufficient, financially stable, well, now that person's paying rent. That person's going to the grocery store. That person is, buying shampoo. They may buy a car. They're contributing back into the community, which is great financial sense. The economic impact HopeLink has on this community through all of the people we're able to help. It just compounds. That makes a community stronger as a whole.
There's no question about it. I mean, we are all one body. It is very easy to look at the individuality and to think that we aren't interdependent. Oh, we are very interdependent. Just take a look at like gas price. One factor goes up and the whole thing ripples. We are just like a body. And I've said this a million times. I'm not afraid to talk about religion. I'm not afraid to talk about politics. Okay. So one of the things that happens with the left and the right that drives me crazy is I see the left as the left leg and the right as the right leg of the same body. Don't kick the other leg. There's no point. And sometimes the one leg will bear the burden for too long, and then the other leg takes over. This is natural. Left, right, left, right. Um, Not a smart business decision. I love that. See, you're very good, and I'm trying to like wash away this notion that sales is like a nasty word or advertising is a nasty word. You're very good at pitching this, and there is nothing wrong with pitching HopeLink. 0% anything bad about that, because it deserves to be pitched, and it deserves to be pitched well by someone who is good at selling, if you will, for lack of a better word, the fact that maybe we should have less people on the street. Um, for those who understand, no explanation is needed. For those who don't, no explanation will suffice. Which is to say that your years of experience as a philanthropist have given you this sort of je ne sais quoi ability to get people to get it, right? And to open their hearts and their wallets to give you money, because money is the closest thing we have to time, right? So it's people's time is what it is. It's just symbolic representation of humans doing stuff. Um, and in regards to this, I mean, it's beautiful. We could talk forever. It's 10:59. We are running out of time. Ladies and gentlemen, you know the drill. YouTube.com/Send It Rising. If you want to join us live for these incredible guests, if you want to see me barefoot longboarding on TikTok, that's you, not YouTube. That's TikTok.com/Send It Rising. If you're listening after the fact, like most folks do on iTunes or Spotify or the 12 other podcast platforms that we are on, thank you so much. We love you and we appreciate you. Shout out to my chess friends for swinging by chat today. I genuinely appreciate it. Those one guy, let's go. And Stacey, I mean, come on. So happy that you're on the show. Loved having the opportunity to chat with you and look forward to hopping on your board if that invitation is still available. Let them know. All right. Where do they go? How can they help? Go ahead, Stacey.
Yep. So our website is the number 2, like the numeral 2, hope.org. So hope.org. Our phone number, 702-566-0576. You can find us on Facebook. You can find us on LinkedIn, HopeLink of Southern Nevada, or just reach out to me. I'm on LinkedIn. I'm on Facebook as well. We're here to help. We want to be a link to hope. And I hope everyone out there will join us and also become a link to hope.
Beautiful. Thanks, everyone. #ChessWorldScientist. We'll see y'all next time. Bye for now.